At the end of last year, I decided to quit my job working as a physio in a clinic. Firstly, I'm going to explain how this will directly benefit you. So the decision came from a place of really wanting to pursue a career more so in education. I have a podcast, I have social media, and ultimately my goal one day is to become an educator, whether that's working in a university setting or creating a course. Ultimately, I want to pursue education. So I wanted to make a lot of time available in my day to doing just that. So that's how it's going to benefit you. If you follow me for the educational stuff that I create, there will be a lot more of that on the way. And that will come in many different forms. If you just follow me on social media, then you will get education here. I'm going to start creating more on YouTube. I'm going to start creating more on my podcast. So if you're more into these longer form education materials that I have made in the past, then you'll want to be following me there. The second reason why I want to share this with you is just for any physio or really anyone out there who's thinking about quitting their job or taking a risk, taking a leap. I just wanted to sort of share my story and my thoughts. And I'm not saying I'm the perfect example because I just started and who knows if this is actually going to work out, but maybe just listening to me will help give you the courage to take that next step. I was really scared at first, and I really didn't think that I was making the right decision by quitting my job. I worked in a clinic that was excellent. It was such a great physical space. There were good clinicians working around me. The patient population that I was working with was awesome. Like for me personally, I was seeing so many traumatic sports injuries like ACLs and Achilles ruptures, but I was also getting a nice mix of, the everyday person as well. So I was getting, the chronic low back pain, the sciatica, the vague neck pains and all those sorts of things. So I was getting a very good mix of patients that was allowing me to become a well-rounded clinician. And it felt like I was giving up quite a bit. Now, after a lot of consideration, I realized that there's always going to be clinics out there. But I may not always have the ambition, the drive, the time, and the energy to pursue my own endeavors and my own aspirations. And I really want to create something that's my own. So because I feel that a clinic will always be there, the main risk that I see happening is more so the financial side of things. And not everybody will be able to take that leap and sacrifice making a living. I am fortunate that I have another job, being my Physio network job, that will sort of help keep me afloat. I'm probably not going to make a lot of money in this first year of doing this. And if anything, I may be losing money from month to month. But it's at a rate that I'm comfortable with. And ultimately, I'm okay making that short-term sacrifice to my finances with the goal of creating something that is more sustaining and fulfilling in the future. There were so many ideas and reasons just going around in my mind before I quit my job that were preventing me from doing so. And they all felt so rational and so legit when they were going on in my brain. But the more I verbalized them and the more I just sort of sat with them, the less rational or the less well-grounded those ideas seemed. I think there's always going to be these mental barriers that we have, and there may be family members or friends that are telling you not to do something, but I think you have to trust yourself more than anyone. So if there's something that you want to pursue, I say go for it, and I'm leading by example here. And again, I'm not saying that this is 100% going to work out, but at the end of the day, the clinic's always there, right? And in the meantime, worst case scenario, I learn a lot by reading all this research. You learn a lot by hearing me talk about it. And then I go back to a clinic as a smarter, more educated clinician. So essentially my professional life is three-pronged. As I mentioned, I'm still working for Physio Network. I am their social media manager, and I'm also helping to create a new service for them that we're going to be launching at the end of January, and I can't announce what that is just yet. So that's helping me stay afloat, and it's also just a way where I work hand in hand with amazing clinicians around the world. So that's a pretty cool gig. The second thing that I have also already mentioned is more so these educational platforms. So my day is basically going to be reading research or interviewing clinicians, filming it, and then chopping that up, putting it on YouTube, putting it on my podcast platforms, putting it on social media for you all to see. And my medium to long-term goal is to take all of this knowledge that I currently have and will continue to obtain to make a course for physiotherapists. And I'm not sure exactly what that will look like yet, but there will be a time when hopefully I'm selling an online course and also teaching that course in person as well. Thirdly is I love being a physio, and I'm not giving that up. I'm still going to be a practicing clinician. It's just now going to be under my own terms, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to be renting out space at a local gym that's very, very close to me. And I will obviously have access to their gym space. I'll have my own tools, like a little tin deck that I'll be using, and I'll have a treatment table as well. And that pay structure, it's way more lucrative for me. So I'm not going to get too much into like the exact numbers, but essentially I need to see about half or a little bit less than half of the same amount of patients in order to make the same amount of money. And I'm not a physio just for the money. Let me make that very, very clear. I think there's other professions that are better than physiotherapy if the goal is purely financial aspirations, but it's still something that is important to me. I still want to be able to make a living and have the freedom that I want to have in my life. So the fact that I'm getting paid about double per hour is awesome. However, I am not going to be seeing the same amount of patients, at least not right off of the bat. And again, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that financial risk in the short term. So I'm going to be renting out space in that gym, and I'm also going to be seeing patients online through telehealth. And there's even less costs associated with that other than my internet bill, just because I'm not renting out any space except, I guess, my home here. So that's it. That's what 2025 is going to look like. I'm going to be continuing to work for Physio Network. I'm going to be a practicing physiotherapist just on my own terms. And most importantly, I'm going to be creating lots and lots of educational content for all of you guys. So if you've stuck around for this long, hearing me just babbling about my own life, thanks for listening. I'm mostly sharing this just to sort of, again, inform you guys how this will affect you, and also hopefully to give you some inspiration to pursue your own endeavors. So thanks for following along. I hope you continue to do so, and you can reach out to me if you have any questions. My email is in the show notes, and if you have any questions about starting your own practice or starting a social media channel, or starting a podcast, I'm here to answer those. I'd be happy to talk with you guys. So hit me up.